G'day, thanks for checking into the Breathless blog. Oh, kids are down, middle of a Sunday, so I'm sneaking in a run. And as beautiful as Brisbane is in winter, I know I keep banging on about this, but it is just the best time of year here. And that was a little tricky that I'll run, so I'm gonna cheat and sneak in a quick drink. And this week, look, I'm gonna touch on something that's probably an unsung hero, villain, of my photography. And look, I don't know if anyone else out there shares a similar process or feeling, but here's what I want to chat about, and that is the feeling of relief. And what sort of made me mull over this the last couple of days is, so the last week we've spent a bit of downtime, family time. So like I said, being winter, a bit cooler, not many people, or as many people get married. With my workflow within schools, it's school holidays, so things quieten off there a bit. So for me, over the last 5 years of full-time business, I've probably learned to not stress out about a quiet time like this so much, understanding that it's actually about to get a hell of a lot busier. So this time around, after the last couple of years, we decided to do a little first family holiday with all four of us. We headed down from Brisbane to Evans Head, where my grandfather and grandmother, I suppose, is, so mum's dad, and we had a night there with them. They got to meet both Tilly and Marnie, so both my children. Because of COVID and just a host of things in the last couple of years, they haven't actually got to meet them, so that was lovely. We then scooted across to Stanthorpe into the very brisk, fresh winter of the Granite Belt there for a couple of nights. A little place just north of Stanthorpe, Thalimba, with my mum's mum and her husband, so my grandparents again, and then back home to Brisbane. So as a round trip, we had 3 nights, 4 days-ish, bit of time in the car, a couple more grey hairs, I think, with 2 small children, but it was very good. Now, what has got this relief, I suppose, theme and just a little cathartic debrief is that so often in my I suppose process of photography, the personal energy and effort and passion that goes into my work manifests itself in some sort of pressure. Now, whether that's pressure from myself to make sure I do a good job and meet the needs of my clients, but also, sometimes there is pressure from clients and people I'm shooting for to make sure that I, get it done, get a shot or produce good work. So quite often that initial, feeling of looking at something in camera, even on the spot, and realizing that what I'm trying to photograph, I've actually been able to capture. Or I'll tell you, actually, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in previous blogs, but mosquito, got in, thank you. When I supply images, especially for a wedding or a family shoot, that wait to hear back from the clients is just, it kills me, honestly. It just, whether it's 10 minutes, 10 hours a day or whatever it is, even though that I generally know that what I've photographed is good quality and I think they'll be happy, until I actually hear back that they are, just that wait is a shocker. And it's just this relief once I know that they love them, or they like them, or happy with the photos. So this time on our family adventure, I actually took quite a bit of my photography gear, because I had a sneaky motive in mind that I wanted to photograph some portraits of my grandparents. Just they're in their 80s now, and look, I know I've referenced this as well before in my blogs, but we truly are the sum of all moving parts, past and present, to where we sit right now. And I guess there's this, for me personally, without sort of digging down into it, if I look back in my life and some of the relationships I've had with family members and still to this day, it hasn't worked out like it sort of does in the fairy tales. Like, it hasn't always been as smooth sailing and as rosy. And some of those, problems and tricky moments in my life have been with older family members. And I guess as I've got older and with, I suppose probably a little bit more life under my belt and a bit of reflection, would I do things differently again? Yeah, probably. But, you know, we live with the choices we make and what others make and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, when it came to me thinking about these portraits with my grandparents, I suppose, you know, I really wanted to make a, you know, just a good standard of work that I know that for years to come, you know, as life passes us all by, that, you know, for myself, for my parents, for, you know, my kids and their kids, that they'll have a treasured, you know, piece of art or a photograph of that particular person that has meant so much to me in my life. So, you know, with that whole notion about, you know, photographing your nearest and dearest, there's a bit of pressure. And look, I don't think there's nothing quite like, Jesus, crows are good, aren't they? Far out. I swear they've only started now. While, you know, when I'm working with other people, I'm photographing other people, I'm trying to bring my best self and my best work. And, you know, because it's not necessarily my family, that doesn't diminish what I'm trying to do, but I think you can appreciate when it's your own family that there's this extra, I suppose, desire to really want to do well. So, in the sense of my mum's dad, so my granddad Spencer, I sort of sprung it on him a little bit unexpectedly, because he's a pretty shy, quiet sort of guy, so I didn't really want to give him too much time to think about it, other than, hey, guess what, this is what we're doing. And of course we got photographs with our children and us and everything, but I also wanted just to spend a bit of time to create some, I suppose, more of an artistic, or a what I would consider a true photographic portrait of them. So we did that same thing across to Stanthorpe, and I was able to photograph Mum's mum and her partner Eric, so Nana and Eric, and a similar kind of thing. I'd given a heads up to my grandmother, sorry, and actually we set up a camera and videoed my grandfather Eric, basically a little interview about his life, and that was great. That was, you know, like, I love doing that, being able to sit down with someone and talk about their life and sort of, you know, unpack it and give them an opportunity to speak about something and provide a point of legacy, for generations to come and for people who love them. So, but also, managed to get some images of them. Now, like I sort of touched on before, there's this, I suppose, this, on the one hand, a safe approach to it, and taking a portrait that, you know, probably meets their expectation of what a photo of them might be and look like. But I also just took a little bit of liberty and freedom to try and, you know, do things a little bit, not risky, but to actually play with some light and, you know, create a mood within the photograph that tried to capture the essence, you know, of someone, and who they are behind the smile, which is kind of a day in, day out part of my passion and job, that I find is one of the best things, to be honest, as a challenge for me. So, but in each of these cases, as you'll see in the photographs that I'll leave here in just a moment, there's just this, looking at them, I'm proud of the work that I've been able to turn out, and they actually haven't seen many of these photographs yet, so I'm still a little bit nervous, and that wait until I hear back from them will still get me. But yeah, look, I hope you enjoy looking at these portraits as well, and look, hey, if you've got any loved ones, or, you know, be it grandparents, you know, people that you love, and you'd love to have some portraits of them that are, yes, in some regards safe, but also, you know, go to the ends of trying to capture the essence of who they are, then I'd love to hear from you, because this is the stuff that really gives me energy and that I love, you know, about my photography and just about, you know, what I do. So look, thanks very much. The Breathless blog, once again, enjoy the photos. Until next time, catch you later.